Okay. Dang, this show's an epic show. It's been going on forever. I got, sometimes in these long things, my eyes get a little funny. And the people in the Discord were like, dude, you need these fancy new blue light glasses. And I went to the eye store yesterday and I was like, I need me some old man glasses. So I got some old man glasses on the way. I got some old ones. Some old man glasses coming up. That's what. No one understands Ricker what he's doing. No one understands. Good. No one understands. Okay. Now, let's say H3 is not terrible, but A, Cry never likes it when you make moves that aren't developing moves. But B, you are creating a potential can opener for him on the king side. Good. And he's doing it, notice he's doing it before he's really prepped to do it. By prepped, I mean he just doesn't have any other dudes going on over there. And that move, Ricker, probably correct, but also probably completely insane. No, I'm just going to have to stick with totally insane. You've opened his business. Now, in that move, I would assume ED. I don't know why he's not playing ED. Good. Now you're back in business. Good. Good. Thank you very much. Game over. Nice, Ricker. All right, so now you're up. It's funny, actually, Ricker. Listen to what you write. I am a pawn up, but not happy with my play so far. Dude, I'm counting the pieces, and I'm seeing 2 pawns. Excuse me, a piece and a pawn. That's what I'm seeing, Ricker. I think you're up a piece, bud. Okay. Oh, good move. Trading for no reason. Good. Okay. A little weird. I'd rather just take on F5. Still crushing him. Good. Don't fall for any tricks. Good. Good. Oh, there's a nice move, Ricker. Good. Okay. He's not doing anything. Thank you very much. Good. Okay, a little weird, Ricker. Put that rook on the 7th. That's where it belongs. Play F6. Okay. A little weird. I want you to push that pawn, buddy. Good. At this point, you had to have realized that you're up a piece. Thank you. Rook E2. Okay, bishop E5 looked pretty good too. Very good. Very good. I want your king to be a shepherd. Go up there to G6. I don't like that. That's starting to scare me. Now, what should he have done? He should have played, well, he can't play B3, excuse me. Okay, now it's obviously hectic, bedectic. You win for it. Snippos. By the way, Ricker's been a longtime friend of the show, and this he is doing at 1 move a day, and I think they end up playing more than 1 move, but like that's your limit, you know, and you know you have to do at least a move a day, I guess is the point. And it's been a cool thing for some of my other students too, where you know you get some real time to think, and you're not going to tactically blow it. And yes, Ricker is winning this position, even if he should feel a little bit sad they didn't crush dude quicker. Thank you. Thank you, mate. Oh, that's a Polgar mate, buddy. See that booking behind me? That big fat blackie right there? That's the Polgar book right there, buddy. That's a Queen E4 mate. Classic. I got 2 games. I learned this interesting stuff. This is going to be totally off topic. I learned about heart rate variability. Google it if you haven't checked it out. It's this new thing. It's kind of mind-blowing. But anyways, one of the things they can use heart rate variability for, and you can buy just a cheap watch now to do it. You don't need hectic technology, is it'll measure how much energy you got in the tank left. And it'll tell you it, you know. Really fascinating stuff. Anyways, my tank is running low. I'm trying to drink some nice water with some lemon juice, and it's hot too in here. All right, this is Kimaga, aka Simon, and we have two very interesting games, and I want to give them their due here. So here we go. This is all pretty well known from back in the day. All very well known. And I just want to say my naive understanding of this position, my just first look at it, it's always looked to me to be absolutely gorgeous for white. And this has to be okay. That has to be okay. And what is he doing really? He's dissolving the center before he's completed his development. Now, one of the things that I really encourage people to do when they annotate their games is to talk as deeply as they can about the forces in the position. So, for example, I think one of the ways in which this position went wrong for white is that he didn't say to himself, oh, bishops of opposite color. And I feel like when I'm first teaching students, we'll have several positions before they even consciously say it to themselves. And it's a big deal because it means that the value of the initiative goes up and the value of pawns goes down. That's the first thing it means. And by initiative, we just mean that if white starts some business on the light squares, then he's up a piece on those squares. If white starts, I hope I say this right. If black starts initiative on the white squares, he's up a piece on those squares. And if white starts an initiative on the dark squares, he's up a piece on those squares. If you've listened to this show long enough, you know that sounds like a broken record. I've said it a bunch. Okay. So, in this position, white plays ed4 and doesn't like it that much and says knight d4 is best. I gotta say though, ed4 definitely looks like a hell of a good move. You're up in development, you got a pass pawn, you're gonna play rook e1 next. Looks great. And I think the main trouble is that you didn't appreciate the fact that he could sack a pawn to open his bishop up. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what I mean by like just saying it out loud, that that's the thing you got to worry about, right? Is once the bishop's opposite color, you got to first say it and then you got to say, what's the dynamic? Okay, so knight d4, I'm sure it's a good move. I still love white in this position. Castles, rook e1. I'm certain that like a rook to c1 would also look good, but that's got to be great. Knight b6, and now here's where the game turns. You write queen c5, and yeah, I think queen c5 is a very nice position. You've got the development advantage. Everything's kind of going your way. Could he like hold on? Maybe, but you just have, it's a very nice position after queen c5. So queen c7, bishop e6, exclam. It really is a move, a noteworthy move to remember. If you're sitting out there in ChessDojo land, this conversion of this pawn sack, definitely something to remember. And now all of a sudden, Kimaga's the one who might have a little bit to worry about. Right? Now, position is now transformed. Does black need to take on f3? No, he doesn't need to take in fact, I don't like it. There's no hurry. Queen a4 makes a lot of sense, for example. In fact, I'd rather be black. The light squares, dude, the light squares are amazing. So he cashes out, and now we're in a different phase of the game. And I think you got to be very thankful. I don't know, very. I don't know, let's be cautious about the word very. But there's a lot of things about this position that are favorable for you. The one thing you should see is, first of all, your bishop is an amazing piece for a number of reasons. It talks to the pawn's queening square. And by being able to play bishop g3, you really don't have to worry about the king getting mated anytime soon. Rook f8. Spicy. Now, one thing I like about this game, as an example, is we get this position. And we had an earlier, I always get I think it was Casper's game. Yeah, it's Casper's game. Where also we had a material imbalance and the queen was a vicious beast. This one is obviously better for black than the last one. But this one's a good one to talk about. Because I'll put it like this. It's a difficult position to play and it's easier for black because if the queen and knight start dancing all over your face, then it's not going to be a pleasant situation. Plus, it's always difficult to hold all your business together, right? And it would be, I think, first an ideal, even though our bishop is beautiful, on a practical level, it would be cool to get rid of the knight. And let me just say the obvious. The reason that the two rooks, that the wisdom of the ancients says that two rooks are 10 points and the queen is 9 is because in most positions, the rooks can bully the queen and start taking her junk. And she has no defense because, if we gang up on a pawn, she can't do anything. Now, let's say the obvious. In a position like this, it's a bit of a mess. I like this comment from Micro. A lot of stray pawns to munch on for the black lady. That's right. And bishop d8 is certainly, I think, a thing we'd like to do, but then we at least have to worry about queen c3. So let's say the obvious. This position it's not super easy to see how white holds it all together. Yeah. One thing, though, that we can say is that white shouldn't go on a foray to try to checkmate the black king until there is coordination. And that's the fundamental interesting problem for white. White needs to achieve coordination here. And in particular, we would love, love, love to push our friend of the d-pawn. That is what we'd like, I think, above all else. And there's real questions about what exactly we should play right here. And, things could go wrong, obviously. I think terrible things could happen to us here. I'm going to give a shout out to it's a tough one. This is a tough one. I want to do something like king g2, but then queen d2, and then what am I doing? Rook d1 is a thought, and maybe that's even the right thought, but I am losing the a-pawn. So I want to stress this position is not easy to play. And maybe it's just an example of white being discoordinated just enough that at the very minimum, black is going to be super annoying here. I apologize for taking forever on it. It is a fascinating position for me. That's tough. The knight is very strong on d5. Right, rook e1 to d1 is certainly a thought. But the knight's going to go to d5, and then we can't move the d pawn. If we could push the pawn, it really changes everything. And then the other terrible thing we got to say is our poor bishop on h4 can't fight for the d5 square. And the knight on d5, of course, has its own like knight f4 problems as well. Rook d8 is certainly a thought, but like we said in another example, we don't really want the rook in front of the pawn, and then we are truly discoordinated, right? It's a thought, though, yeah. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm not sure. I always want to stress, I believe in white's position, but even staring at it for a while now, and I stared at it before too, I wasn't sure exactly what to do. And I'm tempted to cheat, but I think you should cheat, Kimaga. I think you should cheat in this position, but only after you really try to see if you can organize the pieces. Terrible things are happening. And what's interesting about this is it true that black has no way to win this game? Maybe. 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 I'm not sure. I think it's a real close call. I'm not convinced about that. Not convinced about that. And that's interesting, because here you are going to tell Carlsen that it's just a draw. And I guess at this point you are right. There's just nothing the dude can do now. It hurts my soul to have the pawns and the dark squares like that. Oh, I would definitely go for it, though, if Heroes is black. You know, because you can still, if the king managed to get over somewhere over here, we could at least talk about it, you know? We could talk about it. And if we organized an f6, g5, and h4, we could talk about it. It's probably still, yeah, I agree, it's theoretically a draw, but we could black could definitely do the talking here. Because this bishop, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of that bishop, man. That's fun. It does feel fortressy, but it also feels like the exact kind of fortress where Magnus would be like, yep, I'm going to find a way through this dog-eat-dog. Yeah. And in fact, in this position, I'd be, it seems like you probably want to do that. Fix at least the bishop, and then it really is a draw. Maybe some terrible thing would happen to me, actually, if I did that, right? Any case, let's move on to, in some ways, the game of the month. And so our good friend, Why Must I Lose This Idiot, played Ding, a.k.a. Pedestrian, Ding Loren. And it's a 30-30 game, and he's got 5 other people playing him. And I just tell you, to my discredit, to my infamy, I said this at the beginning of the show, I didn't look at the who his opponent was, and I saw I saw moves that I thought were wrong for both sides, like disastrously wrong, and I'll admit it, you know, when we're going through them. But it's just kind of hilarious, because even though Ding plays some bad moves, and it's a simul, whatever, you make mistakes in a simul. I tend to believe that with geniuses like Ding, that even his bad moves have a certain sense about them. Okay, so here we go. In fact, let's change this just so everybody knows. I can change this up here. And we're going to say black is Ding Liren. Boom. Okay, so here we go, my friends. And fine. I wouldn't have wanted this position, but let's keep going. And this has been played. I don't know exactly, but it's been played many times. And in general, I like white's position here a lot. Black's position here a lot. The pieces will be easy for black to put with d6, knight bd7, bishop e7, knight e5 someday. And white's really only chance in a lot of these things is to play g4, g5. But that, as Yasser Seirawan would say, is opening your kimono to play g4, g5. So, and if you don't, then black can, cautiously maneuver his pieces. And it's always dangerous because black's the one who has the breaks. Okay, let's look. Boom, 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 boom. And here's the first move that I was like, oh, black's a patzer. I thought Ding Red was a patzer. So my sense, okay, and this is just conventional wisdom, is you put your rook here, you put your queen here. Then you put your rook here. That's a deeper, darker wisdom. And after, say, bishop f8, g6, then we can start thinking about e5. And it's just cool on e8 because it can be opened up in all kinds of ways. And it would be interesting to talk to Ding about this position because clearly he has some conception, even if you're playing a simul, he's got some conception of what he's doing in the next couple moves. But to me, it was very anti-intuitive. Now let's talk about white's perspective for a second. Regardless of what black does, it's very hard to know where the white pieces go in this position. And so let me just say my rule of thumb and whether I want to play this kind of position or not is, can I play g4, g5? And sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. In general, it depends a lot how much juice you have in the position, whether you can play it. And the problem, it's always scary whenever you play g4, g5. You are opening your kimono. And if you can't do it, though, it's so easy to make one slippery move and black is set for a d5 or a b5, or just, like I said, rook a8, queen b8, rook e8. So it's very hard for me to know what white's supposed to do. And I know it's tricky because you turn on the computer and the computer always loves the space advantage. But a lot of times I turn on the computer and I ask it, well, like, what am I supposed to do, bro? And it just ends up going around and around. I'm like, obviously I'm gonna lose if I just go around and around. Okay, so now we're gonna get to where Ding plays moves I don't understand. Knight a4. I don't know what white's doing. I have no idea. I don't understand. Because the queen really wanted to go to b8. That's why I wanted to put rook ac8. And now Ding's got this idea. And he's a genius. There's no doubt about it. I tweeted the other day. I was like, dude, Ding is playing the most interesting chess. And one cool thing is, since he beat Nepo in the final round, he is now back to number 3. And Jan is at least not number 3. Because to me, the ranking is very clear in the world. It's Magnus is the best. Then we got Ding and Fabi, roughly the same. Different skill sets. I think even though I'm a huge fan of Fabi's, Ding's skill sets are more interesting. The guy is just a genius, dude. Look at knight d4. I should do a video on this. I haven't done videos in a long time. But his knight d4 move against MVL, absolutely stunning, dude. Absolutely stunning. And his game with Nepo, man, genius, dude. And even the games he didn't win. He didn't win against MVL. I thought he had a beautiful position against Giri. Loved the way he played against Giri. And then Alexenko as well. It was tricky, but still really beautiful. Anyways, what am I trying to say? Beautiful man, I don't understand this setup. I don't understand it. Maybe he doesn't understand it either. All right, knight e5. In the traditional way of playing it, this is also a move. Kind of just poke at white a little bit, see if he's going to play f4. And I don't like this. But I don't know. It's almost like he mouse slipped or something, and now things are going crazy. One reason I don't like about it is the knight on b2, I don't understand what it's doing there. And d5 is going to free that knight from bondage. And it gives now white, I don't know, I guess white's better, right? I don't know why he wouldn't be better. I didn't understand that move, honestly. You wrote about bishop f4, some kind of rook f1 move too. But okay. a5. Rook a, he's trying to get some activity. It's totally weird, obviously, what he's doing. I'm not sure about c5, bro. I'm not sure about him. Queen d4, knight c4. Now, that's the first move you got to be at least like, oh, right, Ding's a genius. Just the fact that it works. You're threatening bishop c5, right? Okay. Boom. Good move. Snippos, chippos, and now it's a hard position to evaluate. And Ding totally blows it, dude. How the gods fail. How the gods fail. Plays rook c6. Oh! It's funny, actually, with Ding, you know, he, especially in this last tournament, he missed several resources from his opponents. Like drawing that game to MVL, criminal, dude. Letting Geary do what he did to escape and then win, really sad. And I guess this is an example of it. Now, obviously, you know, he's playing a simul and whatever. There's other games going on. But his position, we got to say, is a little bit creaky, as it were. And, you know, that's when you're going to make a tactical mistake. When the position's creaky. Bam! Game over. And now our big chance to beat Ding Liren. Will our friend? Why must I lose to this idiot? Will he do it? Thank you very much. Okay, now dude has very little time. And Ding said that if bishop h4 had been played, he would have just resigned. Yeah, time to resign, buddy. Time to resign. And let's just say, I'm sure what why must I lose to this idiot was thinking. Now that's a hard one to swallow, that moniker. Is that you're worried about the bishop being hit on c5. And the problem, of course, for dude is that rook b8 is always happening. Right? I assume. Okay. So bishop g7. Check to the miserable king. And now we got to say, at least white didn't lose. Because this is the kind of thing Ding loves, dude. He is the master of the bishops. The master of the bishops. Bishops of opposite color. And draw agree. So, beautiful game. And I don't know if, let me ask a question. Is Kostya in the chat? Is Kostya in the yeah. I got to stop calling. This moniker is too much for me. Why must I lose this idiot? We got to say something else. Oh, and then chat doesn't even let me say idiot. Chat is really moderated, man. You know, we had a discussion about Dubov talking about porn the other day, and this morning, and I did a poll, and it wouldn't even let me write the word. And I was like, wow, man, we got some real censorship going on here. Yeah. Well, dude was winning against Ding. And I will say this. When I first played simuls against some great players, I remember memorably, I got to play 1993. I got to play against Pologievsky in a simul. And I had a great position And it's kind of, he did this funny thing. He looked at me and he offered a draw, and I was just so happy. I was like, I took it. And of course I don't think, it's not some achievement that I drew the dude. No, man, I need to crack that fool, man. I needed to crack him.